Hopefully the microphone is hi. Just going to check everything, make sure our volume is on our mic. Excellent. All right. We're like a minute early, but that's okay.
Good morning.
Morning. I'm Kim.
I'm Janice.
We're Goose Ridge Soaps. Yay. This morning on our Soap Lady chat, actually, let me kind of do something here. There we go. All right. Um, Hang on a second here. Bear with us, setting up for a minute. Okay. We'll wait till actually right at 9:30, which I think we are now. Um, this morning's Soap Lady chat is about um, is it soap? Okay. Well, there's a lot of things that we hear about at the farmers market, doing different festivals, craft festivals, things like that. We have a lot of people that come up and they'll say, "Oh, it smells great, looks beautiful. I can't use bar soap because it dries me out." Okay, fair. But there's a bigger conversation there. So we wanted to have kind of a larger conversation with you this morning about that. But first, we want to show you guys something. We did a little teaser post last week. Wait, last week?
Last
Yeah,
week.
last week. You know, you might, hi, excuse me, might remember this little box in case you didn't see the teaser. This little box right here. We're pretty excited about it. Um, this box is brand new, was available April 1st, limited quantity, but it is our spa set. And I'm going to open this and not dump it everywhere. So,
Really happy with everything we've got in here.
yeah, it's pretty amazing. So it is a spa set, a spa bundle you can do at home. I'm trying to get these camera angle right. It's really weird. Okay. It's a cucumber green tea. So it's got a bar of our cucumber and green tea bar soap, which is made with real green tea. It's got, we call this forbidden spaghetti because the soap dog likes to eat it. There's a bar of a shaving soap, green tea cucumber shaving soap, a green tea and cucumber exfoliating sugar scrub made by our friends at
Echo Valley.
Valley Farms here in Hampstead, and a little adorable 5-ounce spa candle, green tea cucumber, made by Bee Blends in Sykesville, some other good friends of ours. And then you get a little soap lift and a scrubby bag in the box. This is a box that we are selling for $49.99 plus tax, but it's $57+ worth of product in there. So, you know, Mother's Day, birthday, something to pamper yourself. It's pretty awesome. Anyway, so shameless plug. Moving along into today's topic. Hello, soap dog. So, I can't use bar soap because bar soap dries me out. Or I can only use body wash because bar soap drives me out. So let's actually talk about that for a minute. All right. First off, what is actually soap? Vanna here.
Vanna is
Soap,
not doing a good
this is
job.
the Webster's dictionary definition of soap. Soap is a cleansing agent, cleansing and emulsifying. Emulsifying means it's pulled together, made by the action of an alkali salt on a fat or fatty acid. Okay, so breaking this down, pretty basic. It means you take an alkali, a basic salt, basic meaning it has a pH of 8 or more, a basic salt, and mix it with fats and oils. And the chemical process that takes place makes soap. That chemical process is,
I can flip. You took my
oh,
job.
I'm sorry.
took my
I'm going to
job.
throw this on the floor. Saponification. So that's where the word soap comes from. The chemical process that takes place when you combine an alkali salt. And an alkali salt, that means lye. Sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide. Those are the two types of lye. Believe it or not, sodium hydroxide is used in cooking. It's also a drain cleaner. Ha! What did you know? It's a caustic substance, and it is used in making bagels and pretzels. Pretty interesting. So, you know, people think, lye, whatever. It's how it's applied. So she threw that. So saponification is the chemical process that occurs when you add lye with fats and oils. And fats and oils are made up of fatty acids. If you remember your chemistry from way back, fatty acids are the building blocks of fats and oils. And every fatty acid has a different property, has a different way that it behaves, a different thing that imparts into soap. So when you're going to the store, and you're going down the aisles and you're picking up products and you want to know if it's soap. The only product I actually found when I did some research over the past several days, and including this morning, the only bar shaped product that I actually found on the shelf that didn't have anything on the label was Dr. Bronner's bar soap. And it says it is soap. You can't use the word soap on a label if it's not lye and oils mixed together. Okay? Fair enough. Plain and simple. And according to federal regulation, the FDA actually specifically excludes soap from cosmetic labeling requirements. So Dr. Bronner's isn't being shady. They aren't doing anything like that. It's actually soap. They've got lye and oils mixed together. They're not claiming to be anything different. They're not claiming to be a moisturizing beauty bar. They're not claiming to be an acne control bar. They're not claiming to be an antibacterial thing. They're not claiming anything except that it's going to clean you. So therefore, they're actually exempt from labeling requirements. And so are we, believe it or not. But we like people to know what's in their stuff. So we always put everything on our label. And you'll see the word lye right on our label. Even though we use sodium hydroxide in the bar soaps, you will see us use the word lye. We want you to know sodium hydroxide. People don't always know what that is. All right. So not all of these bar soaps and things that you find on the shelf at the grocery store are going to say lye or sodium hydroxide. What you're going to see is things like this: sodium taloate, sodium palmate, sodium palm kernelate, sodium cocoate, sodium laurate, that kind of thing. These are sodium salts created by the combination of lye with fatty acids. Now, the big difference between what these companies are doing, these big Procter & Gamble type companies, big mass-produced stuff, is they are getting the chemically created lab version of the fatty acid and then saponifying that. So they're not actually, probably, I don't know, I've never been in their manufacturing facilities. So let me just put that disclaimer. They're probably not mixing big vats of coconut oil. They're taking the actual mass-produced fatty acid found in coconut oil, which is the sodium cocoate right here. That's where that comes from. And they're using that, and that's the cleansing compound. So sodium taloate, that comes from animal fat. So if you are someone who likes vegan products or plant-based products, if you see taloate on your label, that product means it's got an animal fat in there. Just FYI. We personally use animal fats in our soaps. The lipids are much more like our own skin profile. We find skin likes that better. It's our choice. We respect anybody who would prefer plant-based products, and that's fantastic. We make a couple, that's kind of not what we do. There are a lot of soap makers, natural soap makers out there who will do that with like shea butter in place of lard or tallow, and that's great. And that's wonderful. Two things I want to call your attention to: sodium palmate and sodium palm kernelate. When you see those two ingredients on a label, that means that they are using fatty acids that are derived from palm oil, palm kernel oil. Two very controversial ingredients, ecologically speaking. A lot of companies we're seeing now will put labels saying it's sourced from sustainable sources. That is a personal preference. We personally here at Goose Ridge Soaps don't use anything that's palm oil or palm kernel oil. We just think it's a little too controversial. A lot of deforestation. It's responsible for the harvesting of palm oil, even palm kernel oil. So we just decide, you know what? We made a decision. We're not going to do that. It is a cheap ingredient. It is very widely available, and that's why a lot of people use it. It also helps add hardness to a bar of soap, and we just find that we like to get that a different way. So we make a different choice there. Down on the very bottom, sodium laurate. So you'll see this on bar soaps and things in the store. One brand in particular that comes in a green package that you may remember a whistling theme song that went with that commercial. You can't. It's just a fatty acid. They're creating it in a lab somewhere. It's not necessarily derived from one particular place. All these fatty acids are present in all fats and oils. It's just in varying degrees. So one thing that I have done a little research on and found is that sodium laurate can be very irritating for the skin. So when people say, I can't use bar soap because it makes me dry out, it may be because of the way that it's formulated and the other things that are going in this. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Not all bar soap is created equal. Even amongst us handcrafted, handmade soap makers, we're making this stuff from scratch. It doesn't mean every bar you pick up from every maker is going to feel the same. You need to try it. You need to look at the ingredients, see what's in it, and make a determination on your own. Just because it's a milk-based soap doesn't mean it's going to feel way better than a non-milk-based soap. We do both. We do all of that stuff. So milk adds an extra bunch of fat and protein into the soap, which can be very moisturizing feeling, very, very nourishing, but it's not necessary to get a very moisturizing feel and very nourishing feel to the soap. You can get that with the oils you choose. And we love to talk about this, and I love to geek out about that, which Janice makes fun of me about. So, something to be said for that. What's our next slide there?
Slide.
Oh, yes, our slide. All right, let's talk about sulfates. These two culprits in particular. Sulfates are not soap. Sulfates are chemical surfactants, chemical detergents. Sodium lauryl sulfate, number one on the list here, is both of these actually, but this is probably the biggest offender, if you will. It is responsible for a lot of irritation and contact dermatitis, and it is the industry standard to what all other contact irritants are measured against. So if you pick up a bottle of your favorite body wash, I'm covering the label, but this is a super popular one, especially amongst the younger crowd. Let me put on my readers. Because of the way it smells, there's a whole store that sells this stuff. Ingredients: water, sodium lauryl sulfate. Second ingredient, tea lauryl sulfate. So first and second and third ingredients, sulfates. Can be very drying, very irritating, responsible for contact dermatitis, very harsh, and also synthetic and chemically derived. So if you're trying to stay away from that and things are making you itch, have a look and see if there's sulfates in there. That could be part of what's making you itch. And again, not all body washes and things are created equal, but most of your body washes are not liquid soap. They are chemical detergents, chemical surfactants, and there's a whole bunch of other things added in to try to make it smell good, look good, feel more moisturizing. But if you are choosing to stay away from ingredients you can't pronounce, synthetically derived ingredients and components, then you're going to want to probably stay away from those things. Here's some other things to avoid in your body products: parabens. While most body products are getting away from this because it is so many people react so badly to parabens, it is a preservative that is put in there. I had a hard time actually finding products on the shelf that contain parabens now, which is a great thing. I'm glad to see it. Here are two other preservatives that are very commonly used: methylchloroisothiazolinone
Barely fits on the page.
and methyl isothiazolinone. These are preservatives. They are in just about everything. I went to the store this morning, took photos of labels, and I'm going to tell you right now, beware of marketing. There is a particular brand out there, very popular. It has Doctor in the name, and it's not Dr. Bronner's. Dr. Bronner's is actually real soap, liquid soap and bar soap. But it has Doctor in the name, and it puts a cross. There's a cross on the logo. So there's all these visual things drawing you thinking, oh, it's Doctor something. It has a cross on it. It talks about aromatherapy. It's good for me because it's from a doctor. Oh, and there's a cross, and there's all these subconscious messages out there. But once again, let me see if I have to put on my glasses. I took a photo of the label. Number one, water. Number two, sodium laureth sulfate. One of the other ones had both sodium lauryl sulfate and sodium laureth sulfate as the main cleansing agents. And then as you go down further, methylchloroisothiazolinone, methyl isothiazolinone, preservatives in there as well. So this heavily marketed as being, oh, natural and therapeutic and aroma, and I have a cross on the label and all that. Guess what? It's chock full of the stuff you probably don't necessarily want to put on your body. So, all right, what's our next one here? Here's a big topic too. A lot of people don't want to use products that have a synthetic fragrance. I get it, okay? There's phthalates or phthalates. I'm not sure how you actually pronounce that. I've heard it both ways. Phthalates, parabens, formaldehydes. These are all fixatives and preservatives to fix scent. So if you are buying something that has a fragrance in it, just make sure that the fragrance that's being used is a phthalate, paraben, and formaldehyde free fragrance. We do make a couple of products here, I'm sorry, that use a fragrance oil, and we only source high quality phthalate, paraben, formaldehyde free fragrances. Most of our stuff is essential oils, but we do occasionally use the fragrance, but we are very, very cautious about what we use, as are most soap makers. So just ask some questions.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
They don't make pumpkin spice essential oil.
Generally not, but it's where you're sourcing your fragrance oils from, and if you're following proper usage guidelines, that's more important. And the phthalates, for people who don't know, it's an endocrine disruptor, so it can mess with your actual like body systems, and it can cause problems. So that's something to pay attention to. And when you're picking up these things in the grocery store and it just says fragrance on there, are you going to call Procter and Gamble, or are you going to call whomever else makes these mass-produced things and ask them? For us, honestly, part of the reason we opened our big open kitchen, open concept store here is you can walk in here, and if you want to see the ingredients we use, we will walk you right there, right on the other side of the wall. There isn't even a wall. I mean, it's wide open. You can see absolutely everything we use, and we will be more than happy to take you back and show you these are the ingredients we are using. This is where we get them from. We make sure that we only use phthalate-free fragrances. Most industries are kind of going that way. Perfumes and things, maybe not. I don't know, but you can ask us, and that's a big difference between buying something that's mass-produced, that's cheaper, absolutely, at the grocery store, because they're huge corporations that can do that. And buying something from someone who is putting it together from scratch, who's being very deliberate about the ingredients and things like that. You can talk to us. You can ask us the questions. So we think that's pretty important. Mm-hmm. So the last slide we're going to show you is slide. I love that I'm calling them slide. There are a lot of apps out there, and I've used a couple of them. I think it's kind of sad when you have to go to the store and use an app to decode your ingredients label. I think that's a bit ridiculous. But they like to use the big words, and there are cosmetic labeling requirements involved. So because these companies are using cosmetic ingredients, and laboratory created dyes and colorants and preservatives, something we don't do. We do not do that. All of our colorants are natural colorants. We don't use any synthetic laboratory made colorants at all, like FD&C green number 8 or whatever. We don't use that. A lot of these larger companies, they do, because it's inexpensive, and it keeps the bottom line down. Anyway, these are some apps that you can load on your phone and use. You can take them right to the grocery store, point it at the label. It'll explain the ingredients in there. It'll let you know if there's anything that you should be concerned about, if there have been any studies done to show that one of the ingredients has had some kind of scientific study done, and if it's an irritant or has a known issue or an allergy component to it, it will let you know that. It kind of gives you safety levels of the ingredients in there. The one that I used kind of heavily was INCI decoder. INCI is the International Cosmetic Labeling something. It has to do with cosmetic ingredients and cosmetic labeling. I can't even think of the word right now. I haven't had enough coffee. But that's one that will tell you the ingredients. It'll tell you what products contain a specific ingredient, and it will cite any studies, any scientific studies that have been done on that ingredient, and what the results of that study shown. Good Guide, Skin Deep. Some of these I've used, some of these I have not. Skin Deep is one that's done by, it's a company, I think it's called EWG. I have used their online thing before. I don't have an app on my phone. I don't buy stuff from the store that I have to decipher labels on, so I don't have one of these apps. But if you're ever wondering or ever concerned about what you're putting on your body and want to know a little bit more, these are some really good things to use. So having said that, I think we're gonna end. I know I get a little geeked out, but a little bit. So, if you stop in, if you have questions for us, I don't know if we have any comments. I haven't even looked, no.
Nope.
But, if you have questions, if you want to know a little bit more, we are more than happy to educate and let you make your own informed decision. That's the important part, is making an informed decision about what you're putting on your body and the effects that it can and can't have. So the blanket statement of I can't use bar soap because it dries me out, the next question I usually ask people is, what have you used in the past? And then it's usually a matter of, there's other things in there that are making you feel that way, and it's not the fact that it is shaped like a bar and it cleans you. So something to keep in mind. what did GI Joe always say? The more you know, isn't it? Or wait, was it GI Joe that said it? Knowledge is power. The more you know.
It
Anyway.
vaguely rings the bell.
So, thank you guys for tuning in this morning, and we will post this on our YouTube channel, which you can find the link for in our bio, I believe. But we appreciate you tuning in. And again, if there's any questions that you have about anything soap related, natural shampoo bar related, shaving soap, anything like that that you would like us to address or talk about, drop us a comment, send us a DM, send us an email, and we will set that up as a topic of discussion in a future Soap Lady chat. You guys have a great day. April showers, whatever. I need more coffee. So, peace.